Mendeecees Harris ended their marriage, accused Yandy Smith of adultery, and formally stated that loyalty, trust, and respect are non-negotiable. At the time of the sudden split, Mendeecees was already coping with severe psychological pressure, severe physical health issues, and a great lot of mental exhaustion. Mendeecees recently sobbed on stage during a live concert because he was unable to handle the emotional toll of his deteriorating health and a broken marriage. Tamar Braxton contributed to the turmoil as the allegations of adultery surfaced by discreetly undermining Mendeecees' rights, reigniting long-standing personal grudges, previous legal disputes, and marital discord. What was once praised as one of reality TV's strongest couples has completely collapsed into an ugly, high-stakes public disaster. Mendeecees is dealing with the whole destruction of his personal life while dealing with a medical condition. Yandy is at the center of numerous accusations of infidelity, and prominent figures from their past are stepping in to twistedly enjoy the repercussions. It is impossible to refute the basic facts. The union is no longer in force. The public betrayal has catastrophic consequences. When Mendeecees Harris made clear accusations of infidelity against Yandy Smith, the partnership that had spent years appearing to be an unbreakable foundation was irreversibly destroyed, shocking the whole reality TV business. Fans saw them as a bright example of tenacity, cooperative economic ventures, and deeply rooted family values overcoming major real-life problems as they watched their narrative develop on television screens for over a decade. However, that prevailing narrative was completely upended by Mendeecees' sudden declaration. When Mendeecees publicly said that Yandy had transgressed the core values of their marriage, he did more than simply hint at a brief breakup. He obviously drew a line in the sand when he said that trust, steadfast loyalty, and basic respect were unavoidable conditions that had been flagrantly violated. These claims were so blunt that there was no room for peaceful settlement behind closed doors, immediately turning a private marital collapse into a high-stakes public dispute. The intensity of this fallout is directly related to the long relationship between Mendeecees and Yandy, which has been widely documented across multiple seasons of popular entertainment television. Throughout their time in the spotlight, the couple dealt with challenging court proceedings, lengthy prison sentences, complex family matters, and ongoing public criticism, always coming out together to project an air of total unity. Their public reputation was established by overcoming significant challenges together, so the sudden accusation of marital infidelity struck a particularly deep chord. The fact that this was not a manufactured plot designed for television analytics was immediately apparent to both longtime followers and onlookers. The interpersonal connection that maintained the coherence of their united brand, however, was severely disrupted. When Mendeecees came forward to declare that the basic limits of respect had been crossed, everyone who followed the case was compelled to reconsider years of public remarks and shared history. As more details regarding the split emerged, focus quickly shifted to the exact time and setting of the split. Even prior to the public announcement, the couple's internal tensions were reportedly gradually increasing as a result of pressures from both their personal and professional lives. When the word surfaced in the media, many close to the matter were confused by the quick transition from private disagreement to public allegation. The seriousness of the claimed betrayal was emphasized by Mendeecees' unwavering insistence that loyalty be a deal-breaker, which portrayed the split as a direct result of violated vows, rather than a consensual decision to grow apart. Since the story immediately focused on the gravity of the claims and the irreversible damage done to a once-celebrated union, this distinction was significant in influencing early reactions. Furthermore, the announcement's immediate aftermath exposed significant flaws in the couple's personal infrastructure. Living under continual public observation creates a unique set of conditions where personal disagreements are instantly magnified and examined. Due to the lack of trust, Mendeecees and Yandy were forced to quickly destroy both their personal sanctuary and their significant shared public presence. The accusation spread so quickly that private reconciliation was nearly impossible, locking both parties in a public fallout where every past decision, collaborative venture, and historical interview was now scrutinized in retrospect. The initial shock of the declaration set the tone for the entire affair, leading to a lengthy and complex admission of the underlying conflicts that ultimately brought their long-term marriage to an end. For Yandy Smith and Mendeecees Harris, the first chapter of this upheaval ultimately brings an end to an era. Because of the precise nature of the infidelity claims and Mendeecees' steadfast stance on loyalty and respect, it was clear that the damage was basic and irreversible. What began as a well-known partnership built on surviving extreme external struggle ultimately fell apart due to internal accusations of ultimate betrayal, leaving a path of shock, altered legacies, and a completely destroyed dynamic in its immediate aftermath. The dissolution of the marriage became more convoluted as secondary figures entered the public discourse, most notably through Tamar Braxton's purposeful indirect actions. Almost soon after Mendeecees Harris publicly accused her of cheating on Yandy Smith, Tamar Braxton posted a series of well-thought-out, cryptic messages on social media. These posts were quickly interpreted by many as direct criticism of Mendeecees' worsening situation. It was by no means accidental that Trina's speech touched on long-standing historical tension and unresolved tensions within their shared entertainment networks. Rather than showing empathy or being silent about a private marital dispute, Trina's calculated responses immediately stoked the flames, turning a painful personal breakdown into a developing, complex public dispute that dominated headlines and extended the issue much beyond the principal pair. This intentional foreign involvement revived long-buried animosities, old rivalries, and past legal histories. The overlapping circles of reality TV stars and urban entertainment elites have long harbored unspoken resentment, with long-standing conflicts frequently simmering beneath the surface. Longtime spectators were immediately pushed to reevaluate the past baggage that bound these two individuals together when Tamar Braxton entered the arena during Mendeecees' most vulnerable moment. The public quickly connected past disputes and shifts in dynamics to Trina's sharp indirect criticism, believing her suggestion to be a deliberate attempt at reconciliation. Even though Mendeecees was already pinned to the wall by the fallout from his failed marriage, the reappearance of these long-standing personal grudges significantly altered the scope of the controversy, transforming a straightforward story of marital infidelity into a vast web of industry rivalries, small-time retaliation, and long-awaited payback. As the exterior darkness increased, the plot began to take on a more darker tone, with reviewers and watchers openly discussing the concept of karma in action. The current catastrophe was perceived by longtime Mendeecees and Yandy sympathizers as the inevitable outcome of years of navigating moral dilemmas, public disputes, and controversial lifestyle choices. Mendeecees' present public humiliation was a direct result of his previous activities catching up to him, according to the enraged social media critics that quickly depicted the whole situation as a full-scale crash. Every previously recorded video, interview statement, and court case was brought back into the spotlight to construct a comprehensive argument that its demise was long overdue. The psychological strain of having one's own tragedy presented as legitimate karmic punishment makes an already dreadful situation even more distressing, including the participants in a continuous loop of criticism from the public. In addition to the chaos of the public conflict and the persistent claims of karma, Mendeecees was facing total personal annihilation, while in a severely compromised bodily and emotional state. Even before the explicit accusations of adultery were made public, Mendeecees was secretly dealing with severe, ongoing physical health problems, extreme mental stress, and excessive personal pressure. Managing long-term health issues requires stability, relaxation, and a stress-free environment. Such circumstances were no longer possible once his marriage collapsed as a result of charges of ultimate betrayal. He went through a dangerous double crisis in which the emotional strain of the split quickly made his medical issues worse, leaving him worn out and vulnerable on all fronts since he had to put on a brave front while his health was failing. This unstable combination of physical illness, intense emotional exhaustion, and public humiliation created an unmatched pressure cooker for Mendeecees. In addition to defending his character, dealing with Tamar Braxton's deliberate shade, and processing the complete loss of his primary support network, he was strained to the breaking point trying to manage serious medical difficulties. The dreadful reality of experiencing a severe physical decline as your personal life is slowly destroyed in front of millions of people highlighted the cruelty of living under constant public observation. Mendeecees was surrounded by hostility, ongoing surveillance, and negative external opinion, rather than being given space to heal physically or deal with the betrayal emotionally. This turned his own struggle for health into a desperate attempt to survive in the midst of extreme chaos. The dreadful combination of physical disability, undeniable marital betrayal, and relentless public ridicule reached a breaking point during a recent, extensively publicized live performance. For a guy whose entire reputation rested on stoicism, fortitude, and projecting an unbreakable facade, the stage suddenly transformed into an inescapable mirror, reflecting his total internal collapse. In an emotional, unplanned moment, attendees broke down in front of a live audience, undermining decades of carefully regulated media training. He couldn't handle the emotional strain of coping with his deteriorating health and his marriage's total collapse. He was no longer able to hide the intense agony of betrayal, and his vulnerability on stage was a dramatic, undeniable sign of the immense psychological suffering he was going through. This wasn't a television-produced moment. It was the pure, unadulterated breaking point of a man who had reached his breaking point. While Mendeecees openly fell under the crushing weight of physical and emotional exhaustion, Yandy Smith was embroiled in a massive, intractable dispute over her own fidelity. The shocking accusations of adultery practically shattered the multimillion-dollar enterprise they had established together. Over the course of 4 years, Yandy had expertly crafted an image of the fervently committed ride-or-die matriarch who maintained the family unit in the face of jail time and public scandals. Having lost that protective myth, she now has to face the brutal reality of being the alleged mastermind of their ultimate demise. The shared business ventures, the lucrative television contracts, and the painstakingly constructed family brand have all been permanently tarnished by the reality of betrayal. The accusations completely ruined her long-standing public persona, and she had to confront the reality that the same loyalty she promoted was the very boundary she was accused of crossing. This terrible split could result in a highly devastating uncoupling procedure that would ruin their combined assets, and the ramifications go far beyond a simple formal separation. When an absolute trust-based union collapses because of adultery, life, property, and business are brutally separated, Mendeecees guarantees that this division won't be amicable by drawing a distinct line between loyalty and respect. Every shared contract, every joint property, and every television appearance has now been marred by the horrific reality of their breakdown. The financial and legal entanglements of a decade-long union are going to be brutally unraveled in the public eye, so mediation or behind-the-scenes damage control have no place. The ruins of the falling empire will be seen on television by the same individuals who once contributed to its success. This breakdown is made worse by the inevitable fact that the entertainment industry behaves ruthlessly and avariciously, consuming personal suffering for public spectacle. While Mendeecees remained defenseless on stage, battling his failing physically and a wounded heart, supporting characters like Tamar Braxton used the devastation to exact revenge. This environment is so terrible that there is no safe harbor for healing. Instead of being granted the dignity of suffering in privacy, the dissolution of this marriage has been turned into a spectator event where both longtime enemies and former allies come forward to twist the knife. Mendeecees is seeing firsthand how vulnerability is rapidly converted into a weapon in the world of high-stakes reality TV, where personal destruction is regarded as valuable content. Ultimately, the unfortunate marriage between Mendeecees Harris and Yandy Smith is considered one of the most horrible endings in entertainment history. What began as a firm declaration of non-negotiable boundaries has resulted in the total destruction of a heritage. The specific accusations of cheating, the sharp deterioration in physical health, the targeted industry shading, and the catastrophic live collapse have permanently closed any chance of redemption. The boundaries have been finalized. Their life will be permanently altered by the repercussions, and the betrayal is deeply embedded in the public record. It is impossible to fix a fracture this deep. The hard reality of survival in a completely destroyed world is all that's left. This channel provides entertainment analysis, public news summaries, and pop culture commentary based only on publicly available data and social media trends. The topics and allegations discussed in this movie are typical of online reporting, public opinion, general media criticism, and ongoing discussions concerning well-known people. The only purposes for which this information is produced are amusement, public opinion, and general commentary. It is not intended to be a personal attack on any of the individuals on the list, nor is it intended to criticize or disparage anyone's private life, integrity, or real-life character. We would want to hear your thoughts on this emerging problem. What are your thoughts on the most recent events with Mendeecees Yandy and the statements made in public by people like Tamar Braxton. Do you think that public pressure and internet rumors are altering people's opinions on these events? Or is it simply a result of being in the public eye? Take part in the discussion by sharing your thoughts in the comments section below. If you found this analysis to be fascinating and instructive, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with others. To ensure you don't miss any more news commentary or entertainment updates, don't forget to click the notification bell. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again soon.